Are you guys ready to learn how to make jam in your Thermomix? Because I've got some super quick tips for you how to make the perfect jam every time. Number one, always make sure that you get your ratios right. You don't want to have too much sugar in there because it will get really sweet and it just doesn't cook right. So my ratio is roughly half the amount of sugar to the amount of berries or whatever other fruit you are using. This totally doesn't apply to citrus fruit because that's a totally different thing. That's marmalade and not jam. We are making fruit jam. So I've got some strawberries here. I've actually defrosted them. They were frozen strawberries and I've added a tiny bit of thyme onto it, so you can add a little bit of something if you like. Apricots go really well with thyme. Raspberries or strawberries, those go really well with thyme, and there's some rosemary you can sometimes add in. There's really nice little hints of extra ingredients that you can add in, and you just put it in, and there's no reason why you need to chop this up because this is not frozen anymore. As soon as you start chopping it up, it will actually get really thin, and we don't want that. Okay, we don't want a super smooth thin jam that's not spreadable. We want a spreadable, lovely textured jam. So I added my sugar straight away. I've got half of the amount, just under half. And then I've got a little squeeze of lemon. Really important, tip number 2, always add a tiny bit of lemon juice. If you can get pectin, that's also something really good. It just helps thicken up and also helps just bring out the flavors a little bit more. Just a little squeeze will be enough. Just make sure that you don't get any of the stones in. And then I add a little bit of vanilla bean paste in there. If you don't know how to do that, or if you haven't got anything like that at home, hit the link in the description below because I have got a video on this one and it's a really good pantry staple to make. Just add that all in, and then I pop a little bit of corn flour mixed with some water in there. This is what will give it the proper buttery, jammy, amazing texture. You don't want something that's too thin, you don't want something that's too thick. Now, adding more sugar will obviously naturally caramelize it more, but will also make it a lot more sweet, and we really don't want that. So I just add a bit of corn flour mixed with a bit of water. Now I cook this for about 15 to 20 minutes. I would check it after 15 and perform the nice set test. I'll show you how that's done. But usually after 15 to 20 minutes, you can see it's set, it's really nice, it's the right texture and what you want, basically, for a good jam. If you've used double the recipe, you can find in the description below the exact ingredients. You will have to increase the cooking time by just 5 minutes, so it's more towards the 20 to 25 minute mark. And there's one last trick that we're going to use, and that is taking off the measuring cup, and we're going to pop the simmering basket on top. Your simmering basket just helps get rid of all of the steam. So it lets the steam out because you actually haven't got a lid on properly. It's got little holes in it, so basically the steam can escape and therefore your jam can reduce properly. And that's really important because you don't want to capture any additional water in there. So we'll place it on top, and if you are fortunate enough and have a TM6, you do have a splash guard that comes with your TM6 that you can just put on top instead. Now we're going to cook it, and I'm going to show you what that looks like after. So it's jam time now. It's been 15 minutes, so mine's actually set and ready to go. I'll show you what that looks like when it is ready. So this is the tip to know when your jam is done, and that's usually, well, first of all, you can see the consistency has changed quite a lot. It's now not runny anymore. It's kind of jammy, kind of a bit gel-like, and I just take a bit of a spoonful, drop it inside a cold ramekin or cold dish, and just check how fast it runs. It shouldn't run like super fast. It should go relatively slow. So last one, and that is filling your jam into your jars, which you obviously have sterilized. And if you haven't sterilized them yet, check out my other video on how to sterilize your jars using your Varoma, which is really simple. So hit that button, wherever that button is, on finding out how to do that. Now, I actually use, and that's my last tip for you, a funnel method, and that is just using your lid as a funnel on top of your jar. You just pop that on here and make sure it's on a nice stable surface. And then that means when you pour your jam in, obviously keep control of your lid, that it doesn't go all over the place, and it just goes where it needs to go, and that's inside the jar. Fill it nicely to the top, remove the funnel, repeat it with another one, pop the funnel back on, fill it up, and then you can close it off. Leave that jam to cool all all the way. Close it off straight away, leave it to cool all the way, and then pop it in the fridge before you use it. That really helps the setting process nicely. And there are other methods you can use, but I find this is a really quick one, and it really sets the jam, and then you can use it ready to spread in a few hours from now. So good luck with that, and it's going to be super simple for you. So leave me a comment below what kind of favorite jams you make using your Thermomix. My favorite one is strawberry and raspberry, but I'm really excited to see what you guys are up to. So hit that subscribe button for more amazing tips and tricks and videos on your Thermomix, and I'll see you guys next time.